Hello everyone. We've got some very important update about Cbse having two board examinations from the next academic year. So in 2025, the new class 10 and 12 are going to have this new format of the board exams, which has never happened in the history of Cbse. Right. So this is the first time that we are going to have two board exams. Of course, we had two exams during the COVID times, but that was semester wise, and that happened due to reasons beyond their control. So it was a term wise examination. However, now we are talking about two complete board exams. So this is the first time that it is happening. And those students who are going to 10th and 12th, we need to understand this because this is something very unique and the pattern has to be understood and how to prepare. What are the pros and cons of the whole board exams that will be explained today. Earlier, this proposal was given last year by the education minister, and hopefully we were thinking that it will be implemented from the current year, that is 2024, the students would have this choice, but they have now said that it is going to be implemented only from 2025. That means the next batch of class 10 and 12, when they are going to be there, the present batch will not be having this option of giving two board exams in 2024. But the next batch, when the present class 9 is going to class 10, then when they reach class 10, they will be able to give this exam in 2025, November, December. So 2025, November, December will be the first time that CBSE will be having this. And then the second, obviously, as you are having right now in February, March. So 2024 will not have two exams because that was the earlier announcement, but that is not happening. So further details were given by the education minister. Now, the timeline was very specifically given, and they said that the first attempt will be in November, December. So we are talking about the first attempt, and this is going to be full course, not term-wise, that half the syllabus is going to come. No, it's going to be full syllabus. It is not mandatory, it is optional. So it is not, you don't have to force the students to give. The student feels that he or she is ready to give the exam, then the student can give the exam. And it is also not necessary the student has to give all the 5 or 6 subjects. You can give one subject, two subject, depending on the preparedness. You can give all as well. It is not the final score. The practicals, especially for class 12, because that is a major weightage of the practicals also is added to the 100. So the practicals, there will be only one attempt, not two attempts that November, December you have theory. So we will not have any practicals in October. Practicals will only be held in the month of January, and there is only one attempt. We are talking about two examinations only in the written theory paper, not in the practicals. Then these practicals will continue to remain in the month of January. The second attempt, as we are having now, the exams are in February and March, and the best of two will be taken in each subject. There were many queries after my first video on the changes that is going to happen in CBSE, and the reason I'm explaining again of the two boards is that best of two will be taken. So it is going to be of advantage to the student. So the complete exam is not taken, it is subject wise. So if you have given English, let's say twice, in one you get 70, the other good you get 75. So the better score 75 will be taken. You are giving the exam only once, that means that will be taken. So it's not necessary that you have to take it twice. If you're happy with your exams, first attempt marks, you need not give your second attempt. So which means that if you're 5, you cleared already 3 and you're happy with the marks, then you need to concentrate on the remaining 2. So this is going to be best of 2, and the two timelines I have already discussed with you. So this is actually, this was the notification issued by the respected Honorable Education Minister, Mr. Pradhan. And he said on 23rd February that the students will have the option of class 10 and 12 from 25-26. That means 2025, November, December. That is next November, December, they will get this chance to give this exam. Not in 2024, as earlier announced by the Education Minister himself, but due to the infrastructure problems and the application of certain rules which were not conducive to many of the exam centers, that proposal was on hold. And now he said that finally the CBSE is prepared to implement it for next year, 2025. So the plan, he was very specific about it, that he says that he wants to reduce the stress of the students. And obviously, the main thing behind all this is that it has to align with the objectives of the national education policy, which was released way back in 2020. So this is in line with that. And we are seeing that every month, every year, there are some things adding on to the existing systems are being slowly being replaced by new ones. And this is in line with the NCF and the NEP. So this is what the minister said, that this is because we are doing to reduce stress, and objectives are already outlined in the national education policy. So they have to fulfill the criteria as mentioned there. Now, what are the intricacies of this? So if you studied the whole document of this, then the intricacies, first of all, it's not a term-wise exam. That's what we have to understand. It's not a semester system where, half the syllabus is going to be done and then that is finished and then the second term. It's a full term exam. It's two separate board exams altogether, and the student will have the option of giving both one. And the highest score will be retained. So this is very, very specific, and it always encourages the students to do better. So if you have got a 60 or 70, you can aspire for more marks in the second one. So that is the basic structure of this. Now, why, when we asked what is the reason of the two boards, the CBSE has very given 4 points. That first is that we are doing this to reduce the pressure on the students. Students are priority. We know that from teacher-centered educative system, we are slowly moving into child-centered. So what is the first thing is that they want to reduce the pressure of the students. So, the number of children after exams, they get stressed out because there is a single exam. Sometimes they're not well, sometimes they miss due to medical reasons. And, the pressure is so much that there are so many suicides happening. So they want to reduce the stress and the pressure on the students of deciding the final marks on the basis of one exam. So they want to spread it to two, so that even if the child is not doing one, they always can aspire to do better in the second one. Or if they are unwell in one, they can do the second one. So these are the reasons. First reason. Second reason, it is an opportunity, of course, to improve their scores. So there are many people who can improve their scores right now. Whatever marks you are getting, you have to be satisfied with that. There is no improvement as such. You can give during the compartment exams once for one subject in class 12. If you are not clearing, and there is scope for improvement exam only for one subject. So, but you cannot improve the scores of all. Here you have the option of improving the scores of all your 5 and 6 subjects. So with the same subject, we can give the exam twice. So third thing that they told us was that to make the assessment more continuous and comprehensive. The old educators will remember that we had a system called the CCE, continuous and comprehensive evaluation. Now, I'm not going to comment on today's video whether that was successful and what were the pros and cons of that. But slowly they have realized that there has to be a mix of both. It cannot be one single exam, and there cannot be, the CCE format where continuous tests, the children were giving only tests and projects and so on. So this is a slight mix of both, which means that it is not entirely CC pattern and not the one board exam. So they have split it into two so that the children are more relaxed, and the final scores are based on 2 exams, not on 1 exam. So it's slightly better, I think, from the student's point of view. And of course, the main reason is that to align the assessment with the new curriculum framework. So those who have not read the NEP document or the NCF document, please read that. Everything is aligning towards that. In a couple of years, you will find that most of the policies are going to get implemented. The document that was released slowly is getting implemented in that direction. And concerns. Now, if you are analyzing this whole system, they have given us the good points. But if you are looking at the concerns from the teacher's point of view, syllabus completion is a major challenge. If the student has to give the exam in November, December, we need to complete our courses by October. And many educators across India, and we have CBSE schools in Africa and Gulf countries, many of them have contacted and said, sir, how will we complete the course by October? That's going to be a challenge. So from the teacher's point of view, syllabus completion is going to be a challenge. Of course, the student also needs to complete it, but it's going to be a challenge to rush through the syllabus and complete it by October, so that November, the children can avail this benefit of giving a board exam. Without completion, they cannot give a board exam. Then it will be a futile experience. Even if you do 70 or 80% of the syllabus, giving a full course exam is futile. So it's going to be a little stressful for the teachers. And I think it will take a few years to come to terms with this and plan out a strategy in such a way that course is completed comfortably by October. The stress is also because of the fact that the new textbooks that were supposed to come is also delayed. So with the reduced curriculum, this would have been very easy to come do. But now, since the textbooks are the same old books, of course, 30% was reduced, and it is much easier as compared to the old syllabus. But as per the NEP, the new textbooks are supposed to be further having a reduced curriculum. So this is going to create a little bit of issues for the teachers to complete the syllabus. And this obviously adds on to the stress of the teachers. Thirdly, I feel that there is going to be a little confusion among the students of what to give when. So am I going to give English and maths first or SST later? Am I going to give all the exams first? And all that. Now, right now, that confusion is not there because there is only one single exam. When you're given a choice, then that also becomes a thinking point. I mean, the student has to really decide on, and the parent and the teachers, the school, they have to really find ways and means to avoid this confusion on what to give when. And that is also important, because if you're not prepared at all, no point giving an exam. It is going to be a practice exam, probably, provided you have completed the syllabus and you have at least gone through the syllabus and expecting decent marks. No point going to give an examination if you're going to fail, right? So it's going to create a little bit of confusion, at least initially, maybe the first year or the second year, then automatically it should fall in place. The other concerns is that obviously the exam is not free. Cbse is going to charge you for the exams, and obviously you'll have to pay the exam twice. If you're giving an exam twice, now we are paying the exam fees only once, now you have to pay it twice. So it's going to be an additional burden for few students who are not able to afford the fees twice. So there's a costing involved in this. So that's there. And again, from teachers' point of view, the evaluation duty will come. So, right now we are going for about 10 days in a year for evaluation. Now, with the two board system, we'll have to be out of our schools for 20 days. So that's quite a lot. And evaluation, unless they do, those MCQ pattern where it is automatically checked, just like the IITs and the medical, the Cbse system of manual checking, if they are continuing with that, obviously, then the evaluation duty will go to teachers. The teachers will only have to go, and that will take at least 10 days for one board exam. So two board exams makes it 20 days. So evaluation duty is going to be a challenge for the schools also, because they have to relieve the teachers. There is no choice. If you don't relieve your teachers, there is a fine of 50,000 by the Cbse. So that's there. Thirdly is the exam arrangements. If you are a board center, then the whole protocols have to be followed. Those who are CAs, deputy CAs, and those who are in the examination department of the schools, you know how challenging it is to, plan out the entire details of a board exam. So it takes 30, 40 days to conduct the full course of board exams. So another set of 30, 40 days, taking out that in November, December for the schools is an additional responsibility and exam arrangements. So these are concerns that is arising out of the two board systems. So as I said, there are pros and cons. So we need to check what is going to happen. Of course, the whole project, as I said, is reflecting the commitment by the Ministry of Education, who has issued this, and the Cbse, to provide a very flexible and student-friendly education system. So that's the focus, student-friendly. So all these concerns that I'm talking about is, 90% problem for the schools and the educators. Students, it is student-friendly, definitely. And that's the focus of this document, that the exams need to be student-friendly and holistic approach to learning and assessment. So I think considering that aim, this two board exams is going to fulfill at least 90% of that criteria. The concerns are, as I said, mainly for the center and the educators involved in the evaluation, invigilation, and arrangement of the exams. So when will the results come? That is very clear that when you are having an exam in November, December, it is going to take 10, 15 days for the evaluation, and then the results will be declared in January. And that time you're not going to get any certificate. You will get only the mark sheet, right? And the second exam, which is going to happen in February and March, the results of that will be declared in May, and then you will get the final mark sheet. If you have given two sets of exams, the best of two will be taken. That mark sheet will come, and you will get your final certificate with the best of two marks. So November, December exams, the results will come in Jan. If you're satisfied, good enough, don't attempt the second one. If you're not satisfied, or if you have left some exams in the first attempt, then go for your February, March exams, the result of which will be declared in May, and the final results and the final certificate will be given during that time. And in conclusion, I just want to say that, whatever the CBSE and the Ministry of Education is envisaging in the future, that shows their intention to improve the present education system. We have been in an education system over the past 30-35 years. Many of us are teaching redundant things which are no longer valid. There is very less life skill training happening in our schools. Most of the topics are, redundant and not used anymore. So the vision is very good. The mission is good, that we need to change the education system. They have realized the education system is outdated. And I hope we are moving in the right direction, and the outcome hopefully should be good. Now, what happens ultimately, we'll be able to comment only after the whole NEP gets implemented in the subsequent years. And then in 3-4 years, the outcome will definitely be visible. The source of information of all what I'm speaking today is from the Ministry of Education. And many of you asked for CBSE circulars, and the CBSE circulars are going to come later once the textbooks are still in a stage of infancy, when the textbooks are ready. And this is not going to be implemented for the batch of 2024. So there is plenty of time. So this is only going to be applicable for 2025. So the circulars regarding this will come to the schools much later. There are two aspects to this. One is the introduction of the new NEP books, which we were expecting this February, but still we are told that it is not ready. So it may take a few months. And if it is taking a few months, obviously that's why they've delayed the whole thing to 2025, right? So the circulars from the CBSE will be issued much later once everything is finalized. Because once CBSE issues a circular, that means it has to be implemented mandatorily. So right now systems are not in place. This is issued by the Ministry of Education. The minister himself has announced all these changes. So the CBSE will ultimately have to do it. But the date declared has been postponed from 2024 to 2025. So next year we are confident that they will implement this, because now they have time in hand to organize this whole thing. So I hope the session was useful, and things have been clarified regarding the two board system. So I want to thank you, and I want to wish you all the best for the coming year. Thank you so much.